the Democratic Republic of Sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy in the Wicked Weed studio on this Monday morning. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Oh my gosh, Florida State.
It was a bad
Florida
weekend
State,
for teams in this studio. Brian's Orange and my Knowles got tortured.
Oh, Florida State and Syracuse both losing by 125 points this weekend. It was not good for you guys in the Sweet 16, but we are down to the Elite Eight in college basketball. Oh, and fucking Oregon State.
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. We got Baylor, Gonzaga, Michigan, Houston. Then we got Oregon State and UCLA.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo!
yeah.
I can even understand USC. But you know what we have in the Elite Eight?
What's that?
Beavers.
Beavers.
Elite Beavers. High-end first take Beavers.
Oregon State beating Loyola Chicago. As soon as I buy into the Porter Moser Loyola Chicago thing, of course it doesn't work. So
sorry, Sister Jean.
Sorry, Sister Jean. I jinxed you. The kiss of death remains with Tank Spencer. Thank you very much. And I knew it wasn't going to go well for Syracuse against Houston. It was eventually going to catch up to them. The hot shooting was eventually going to disappear. And then your Florida State Seminoles. What happened?
This is what happens when you switch everything. A smart coach goes, every time we run a high ball screen, your guard's going to go with our big guy? Okay. They scored 30 points in a row in the paint.
Yeah.
High school teams can't do that.
Michigan just I mean, they outmanned you at every stage.
Hey.
I mean, you couldn't rebound, you couldn't shoot. It was incredible.
Hey.
And all this without Isaiah Livers. That's the thing that surprises me the most about this Michigan team.
Hey, you want me to tell you a fun story about Michigan?
Yeah.
Fuck Michigan.
Oh, you poor salty bastard.
The salt is strong in this one.
It was being in his house yesterday. It was like,
I turned it off 12 minutes ago. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm. And you guys were talking about the referees a lot.
No, they're bad. They're fucking terrible. Inconsistent. I mean, but that's college basketball.
Right.
I mean, we talk about this every year. They're inconsistent as hell. And once you get a reputation, that's what you are.
Yeah.
And Florida State has a reputation for that they reach a lot. And on the switch, they get very aggressive. And you got officials that aren't going to allow that shit.
Yeah. Oh, so close yet so far away again for Leonard Hamilton. I keep wondering, is it really ever going to happen?
No,
for him?
It's not. And it breaks my heart. I want it to happen for Leonard, and every year I fall for it, and every year I'm disappointed, just exactly like I am right now.
Yep. But Juwan Howard living up to the Coach of the Year. You agree?
I would say so. I don't know how you give it to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so. Juwan Howard's been so good that it's changing how Texas is searching for their coach. Now, you realize Roy L. Ivy's most likely going to get that job, right?
Really?
Yeah. Because I struggle to believe Chris Beard's leaving Texas Tech. I know that's who they want. He's a former Texas assistant. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why you would leave that job where you're safe as hell for the rest of your life to go to Texas. Oh, he's going to make more money. Okay. And 2 years from now, if he's not 25-3, they're going to be talking about firing him.
Yeah. Well, it's a more prestigious school. It's his alma mater. Of course, that's going to be the discussion.
And I don't think he's going to go.
Really?
I really don't.
I mean, he's got a very affordable buyout.
It's only $4 million. Lessons on Thursday. So, I mean, all the things set up for him to go. I just don't think he's going to.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, if I'm him, I wouldn't either. I mean, for the love of God, Indiana had to hire Mike Woodson. Yeah. They went, well, we could get Brad Stevens or Holtman from Ohio State, or you know what we could do? We could hire that guy that's a gif of him just staring at the camera like, what the fuck?
But
Fire that guy.
But were either of those ever going to happen?
Hell no, but they thought it was.
Well, of course
My
they
God,
did.
if you know what I've learned over the weekend? That old Colin Cowherd line that fan is short for fanatic, that is the truest statement in the history of time. Mm-hmm. Here's what I've learned. Message boards are the worst thing that ever happened to sports. Because people get in these little groups in their little fan junkets, and they bounce these stupid ideas off each other, and they think that's how everybody thinks. No, it's not. And then I tell you the truth, and all of a sudden I'm an idiot. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think I am. Mm-hmm. I've had I pissed off a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars fans. That's fine. You believe in Urban Meyer all you want to. Hope's great. Hope springs eternal. Mm-hmm. You're still bad. Texas basketball, you're not a great job. You pay a lot of money because you have to, because you have a lot of money. Indiana basketball, same way. Yeah. I could do this for an hour of things that fans think are better than they are. Mm-hmm.
Immediately, the rumors began as soon as one of these high-level program coaches goes, and it all starts the same, the same names keep getting thrown out there over and over again. First off, I still don't believe that Brad Stevens is going to leave the NBA. I honestly don't. I don't think the Boston Celtics are going to get to a point where they cut him loose. I mean, at least not immediately. And I don't know that he's signing up for a rebuild job for Indiana. It just doesn't mesh with me. And then, of course, Porter Moser's name gets thrown into everything because of Loyola Chicago's, deep run into the tournament.
And by the way, that's who Texas should hire. They won't, but that's who they should hire.
Oh, I believe that all of the big programs should be reaching out to Porter Moser at this point. But there again, Porter Moser's going to have his choice of any job he wants. And he pretty much had the same a few years ago and decided to stay at Loyola. Mm-hmm. So what has changed for him in the last few years?
He realizes he's at Loyola Chicago.
Well, you would think.
You have to strike while the iron's hot eventually.
Agreed. Do you think he's interested in these big jobs?
I can't see how he wouldn't be. He'd be a fucking moron not to. Mm-hmm. I mean, first of all, you're in Chicago. Cool. Yes, you have a pretty decent amount of talent. Mm-hmm. If you look at where these kids that are playing for Loyola Chicago are coming from, it's not there. And DePaul's going to make a big boy hire because that's what they do. DePaul throws money at coaches like unlike any bad program out there. And they're going to throw money at him, by the way, just so you know.
Right.
DePaul will make a hell of a run at Porter Moser. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that as a wanted job.
Depends on how much you like Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't get down with that. I mean, DePaul has always been a second rate.
It's a job that should be way better than it is. And the right coach can make it that. You're in a good recruiting spot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll be really honest with you. I think the DePaul job's better than the Texas job.
Really?
I do. In terms of if I'm Porter Moser, I would rather be at DePaul than Texas. I win 20 games there, they'll build statues of me. Mm-hmm. You do realize they ran Shaka Smart out at Texas, right? Mm-hmm. Have you heard that story that broke over the weekend?
No, I haven't heard what actually
They told him to go take the Marquette job.
Yeah, why
Texas
not?
Looked at him and said, it will be better for both of us if you'll go take that job, because then we don't have to fire you. Mm-hmm. So that was a 2-3 seed in the tournament?
3.
What was Texas? They were 3.
They were 3 seed.
And they were talking about firing him. Mm-hmm. And we're so convinced of it that they told him to take a second-rate job knowing full well this was going to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why you're Texas. Texas is one of those places I wish I could buy it for what it was worth and sell it for what they thought it was worth.
Absolutely. And their football program's the exact same way. Uh-huh. And it always has been. They think that they're bigger than they actually are. And when they have some success and they get into the tournament and they have, a high seed, they don't do anything with it. And right. Well, it's not good enough because you don't win. Because you get there and you lose, and we're a better program than that. At least that's what they believe. Losing to Abilene Christian in the first round is not going to get it done. And that's how I immediately read the Shaka Smart thing, was that he was leaving town before he got fired. And you can't blame him for that. Why would you want to stick around and have that blemish on your record? Just move on to the next school. And I've heard a lot of people talking about how he's going to be better at Marquette than he was at Texas. Okay.
He will be. He will be, and it's not even debatable.
Well, it's a basketball school. There's a lot more focus put on basketball in Marquette than there is at Texas.
Disagree.
Really?
Texas is focused on everything. They spend money at a level that very few other places do.
Mm-hmm.
No, he will be more successful there because he's from there. This is one of the things that's always made me laugh about how coaches are hired in college basketball. Your geographic location matters a lot because you have relationships with these coaches. Mm-hmm. Shaka Smart had no relationship whatsoever in the state of Texas.
Right.
So you got a guy like Chris Beard, Buzz Williams at Texas A&M, Lon Kruger at Oklahoma, Bill Self at Kansas. You know what all of them have that he didn't have? Relationships. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think he will be markedly more successful at Marquette.
Well, it's about time because that program was stifled underneath Wojciechowski. And do you think that he's going to get a job, a big job somewhere, or do you think he ends up on K's bench?
Wojciechowski?
Yeah.
He probably ends up at Duke for a year or two.
That's what I thought.
It didn't go particularly well at Marquette, let's be really honest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was there 7 years. They made the tournament, 3 times?
Yeah. And 2 of those were with Marcus Howard, who's probably top 5 best player in program history.
Yeah.
And now is a bench player for my 2021 NBA champion Denver Nuggets.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's the 15th man off the bench. I was yesterday years old when I found that out.
Oh, okay.
I was watching the game cast to see just exactly how good Aaron Gordon was. Mm-hmm. By the way, it's real good. It's real good.
Yeah, it was very nice to see him coming off of screens and doing big things in the paint with him.
Hey, you know, you want me to tell you a dirty little secret about Aaron Gordon? He's real good at basketball. Mm-hmm. And now that you have Nikola Jokic, who's the best facilitating big man in NBA history, yeah.
That's going to work out very nicely.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That will work out very nicely. But anyway, the Elite Eight is set, and we've got, 2 games today?
Tonight, yeah.
Yeah, 2 games tonight, Baylor and Arkansas, and Oregon State and Houston.
Oh, I'm going to try this sweeping declaration thing again because I keep fucking it up.
All right.
Arkansas beats Baylor. Arkansas, there's something about that Arkansas team that I'm just drunk on.
Okay. But you don't know what it is about them that you like so much?
They've bought into Eric Musselman to the highest degree. Mm-hmm. There was absolutely no reason for them to beat Oral Roberts. But they did. Mm-hmm. Max Abmas, by the way, if he's not a first-round pick, you're doing it wrong. NBA teams, if you can't figure out that guy has a role in the NBA, I cannot help you. Oh, he's too small. Oh, okay. So is Allen Iverson, so just throwing that out there. I'm not saying he's that good. I'm just saying this is I've watched a lot of college basketball in the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. That kid's an NBA player. I haven't seen a lot of NBA players in this tournament. That kid's one of them.
You haven't seen a lot of NBA players?
Not high-end. All right. Who that you saw over the weekend is a high-end NBA player?
Oh, well, I believe Jalen Suggs, Evan Mobley.
That's one. That's another. There were 16 teams that played. You said 2 guys.
I think Jared Butler's going to be a fine NBA player.
I don't.
Really?
No.
Okay.
High-end, consistent NBA player. Guy that plays in the league for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then?
Hunter Dickinson.
He's really thin.
Well, I mean, he's a freshman.
Really thin. Yeah, and he's going to come out. He's going to come out. After what he just did to Florida State, yes, he's going to come out. Mm-hmm. Because why would you stick around? What is the purpose of sticking around? You got this G League shit that basically invalidates everything that you do because you're losing 10 of the top 100 recruits every year. And so NBA teams are going to keep saying that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Hunter Dickinson comes out.
Okay.
And do I look at him as a high-end NBA player? No. Do you realize who he would have to guard in the NBA? Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Andre Drummond, who's now the 4th option for the Lakers.
Right.
And he would get eaten. Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't dislike the player. I'm just saying he's not an NBA player.
Right. I think a couple of years of growth would do him well, but if you say he's going to go pro,
because why wouldn't he?
I trust your judgment on that.
So the things about his game that would bother an NBA team, they're not going to get better. He's not going to gain 60 pounds between now and his senior year.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's a stretch four that's got a little bit of range, and I think he's not going to be able to guard anybody in the NBA. Mm-hmm. That's been my biggest takeaway from this tournament. Is I really enjoy the college tournament. There's not a lot of high-end NBA players in this. I mean, hell, think about it. Scotty Barnes is a no-doubt top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Do you really feel like he was a high-end NBA player watching him yesterday?
No.
And I felt that way all year long.
He was a very confused kid, is what I saw yesterday.
I felt that way all year long. Moses Moody, that's the kid at Arkansas. That's an NBA player.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Quentin Grimes.
He's really small. I mean, and I understand that he's just not a scorer at the level that a guy like Abmas is. Mm-hmm. I mean, will he ever roll? Sure. But I mean, I look at guys like Franz Wagner. That's a lottery pick. You really look at that kid and think, yeah, he'll be in the league for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I don't. I look at him and see his brother. Lazy comparison, I get it, but that's what I see. I see a guy, and I just see a guy that's, yeah, you can shoot. You can shoot and you can pass.
Yeah.
Who the hell can you defend?
Yeah.
Nobody, baby.
I believe that Gonzaga has again shown that they are the cream of the crop in college basketball, and I still believe that it is a crash course between them and Baylor. And you think old Eric Musselman's going to have?
I can tell you definitively, I'm taking Arkansas plus 7.5 tonight.
Okay.
I will be plastered on Arkansas plus 7.5.
Mm-hmm. That is too many points. That's way too many points.
Baylor is getting the same number of points against Arkansas that Houston's getting against the Beavers. Think about that. You ever say something out loud and go, that sounds stupid? That's how I feel about that.
Now, you're the X's and O's basketball guy. Can you tell me what Oregon State is doing to be this far into the tournament? Something that, I mean, I didn't even have them getting out of the first round.
I don't think anybody did.
So what has clicked for them? They're just, is it their fundamentals? Is it, what is there to like about Oregon State?
I mean, the story's fun. You're asking me why they're getting here? Because there's not high-end talent in college basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, for the love of God, look at the teams they've beaten. They've beaten Loyola Chicago. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think there's anything deeper than that. You look at, I mean, if you're playing the box score game, they've shot reasonably well. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, other than that, it just is what it is. This is what I told you was going to happen. The talent discrepancy is not that big because you don't have high-end NBA players. Mm-hmm. Number one pick in this draft, Cade Cunningham, gone.
Yep.
Opening round, bye. Bye-bye. Jonathan Kuminga and Jalen Greene, they're in the G League. Jalen Suggs is on a juggernaut. That's about it. Mm-hmm. Evan Mobley, look at what Evan Mobley's doing. That should tell you everything you need to know. That's a high-end top 5 NBA draft pick. Mm-hmm. He is destroying people. He looks like Conan the Barbarian compared to most of these dudes. It looks like me trying to guard him.
Yeah. His dunk late in the game might have been the best dunk I've seen in a tournament.
It was good.
I mean, it harkened back to Darvin Ham breaking the backboard against Carolina.
He's a tremendous – he's the high-end player in college basketball that nobody talks about. Mm-hmm. And it's West Coast bias. Mm-hmm. It's because he plays at 10:30 at night. You don't see him.
Yep.
That's been a kid I've been on all year long. That's the modern NBA big guy. Mm-hmm. Because he's athletic enough to switch on fours and down low. By God, nobody knows how to defend him because he has good feet and he can just get to the rim. Mm-hmm. That's a modern NBA big man.
Yeah.
And you just don't see many of those. And that's the reason USC's in the Elite Eight, because nobody knows how to guard him. And I got news for you. Who do they play?
Who?
Who does USC play?
Oh, Gonzaga.
There you go. Just saying.
You think they can beat Gonzaga?
It's the best player they've played all year. And you're telling me that old Mustachio is going to guard him? Okay. Oh, you're serious. You think Drew Timmy's going to defend him?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. No. Okay. Drew Timmy's like 2 inches taller than I am.
Mm-hmm. I still believe Gonzaga has the best team in the field.
Oh, I agree with you, and I'm not definitively saying USC is going to beat them.
Okay.
I'm saying people are going to write that off like it has no shot of happening.
Oh, no. It'll be the best game they played so far. It'll be the closest game that Gonzaga's played so far.
Creighton had nothing for them.
Nobody's had anything for them.
I'll tell you
That's
one
the
thing.
point.
You asked me about Oregon State. I'll tell you one thing they do that really like warms my soul.
Okay.
They make fucking free throws.
Yeah.
Hey, Alabama. How does free throws do you?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Almighty, he missed both those by like the width of this desk.
Was it 4 seconds left in the game? And the guy goes
two.
And the guy
make fucking one. That's all you have to do. Make one.
You go to the line down by 1, and you got the player of the year in the SEC at the line. Of course, he was defensive player of the year as well. Defense very much outweighs his shooting ability. But Herbert Jones is standing there at the line, and he missed them both. And I went, yeah, this is done. This is over. And I give him credit for running the inbound play that Jeremy has just gotten his rocks off about when they hit the three-pointer at the buzzer to be able to send that game into overtime. But then it was just an onslaught by UCLA in the second in the overtime that.
And the bad thing is that shot, no one will ever remember it. That will be on highlight reels of the tournament for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Because that inbound play was perfection. Because Mick Cronin is the godfather of foul up three. By the way, I hate that decision. I hate that decision.
What, fouling up three?
Yes. That's the only way you can lose. The only way you can lose is to foul. They can tie you, but if you have, balls and say, hey, in overtime, we're fine, the only way you can lose is to foul. And maybe that's the old school coach in me. That's the only way you can lose that game. And by God, they wanted to. With everything they had, they wanted to. And Alabama went, mm-mm. And then they got to overtime and went, well, we got this far. This was good enough, right?
Yeah. I've always thought fouling when you're up three is just kind of cheap. I don't like it.
It's not cheap. I mean, I understand the strategy.
Well, obviously the strategy is there, but to me, pressure him to hit the shot. To me, your chances are better if you pressure him to hit the shot than to foul him and extend the game and give him another opportunity, because you hit one, miss one, get the rebound. It makes it very likely that you could end up screwing that up. I don't like it, but Alabama was a team that I thought was destined for the Final Four. But as you said, you live by the three, you die by the three. And they only hit 7 out of 30, I think it was last night. What?
You ever see something and you just go, oh,
yeah.
DraftKings just signed an official deal with the WWE to be their official gaming partner.
What? Or you can gamble on rigged events?
But that's not real, right? That's like
it's still real to me, damn it.
That's like DraftKings signing the Young and the Restless.
But you don't know who's going to win. You still have to figure out.
No, somebody knows.
100%.
Somebody knows.
100%.
Actually, a lot of somebodies know.
100%.
See, this is the problem with gambling. How do you gamble on professional wrestling? Good God, is it all prop bets?
I'm sure it is.
How many times will you get the finishing move? No, that's scripted as well. You can't.
You know what's not scripted? Francis Ngannou's not scripted.
Yeah.
Oh God,
that's a bad fucking dude. Right there.
Oh God, he destroyed Stipe Miocic. What was it, 52 seconds into the second round?
And he waffled him. That vision of his leg turned the wrong direction, that will live for eternity.
Scorpion.
I hate to see Stipe go out that way because that will be his last fight.
Yeah.
I hate to see him go out that way because he's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. However, it was very fitting that to start the Ngannou era, he had to crumple one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And he did. Mm-hmm. You know what the scary thing about Francis Ngannou is?
What's that?
He didn't know how to fight until about 2 years ago. Yeah. He was Kimbo Slice. He had a hell of a hook. Mm-hmm. But that's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. Now he can fight. And Jon Jones, let me give a little warning to Jon Jones. If you think you're going to crawl in the ring with that dude that is way bigger than you, it will end badly. I have zero. Alex Sanders talking about owning me on this one. I would. If you're about to tell me Francis Ngannou is not a high-end heavyweight, I will destroy you. Because he is. And if you want to see it, you're going to see it because he's going to fight Jon Jones, and it will end terribly badly. I understand Stipe's 39 years old, and people are overvaluing this fight. Mm-hmm. This is not what I'm talking about. Watch the last 5 fights of Ngannou's. How do you survive with him? Because now it's not a thing of you get him on the ground and this is immediately over.
No.
He knows how to get back up. Mm-hmm. Can he get on the ground and roll around with you? No, he doesn't have to. He doesn't.
I loved watching the fight. I was sad that it ended so quickly, but I knew that was the possibility. When you go into the ring against a guy like Francis Ngannou who could just lay you out with one punch, you're playing with fire. I thought that Stipe would have a chance if he was able to, keep the game on the ground, be able to just tire out Ngannou. He'd have a chance, but he didn't get that chance. At every step, when Stipe tried to make a move, Ngannou had an answer for him. And he's just so fucking powerful. There's nothing he could do to get control on the ground. And I was very, very impressed. Ngannou's a guy that I have liked, but I didn't know that if he was going to be able to have the wrestling chops to be able to hang in a 5-round bout. He didn't need to. He absolutely didn't need to. And I don't think there's another heavyweight in the division that can stand up to it.
So now I understand what Alexander's trying to tell me. Jon Jones has a 9-inch reach advantage against Francis Ngannou. I don't care.
Sizable.
I don't care. He doesn't throw hands like this. Mm-hmm. You're asking a dude to jump up 20 pounds. And he said going up's easier than going down. I don't disagree with you at all. Except when you have to go up against one of the heaviest-handed individuals I've ever seen. This is a terrible idea for Jon Jones, and he's going to fall for it. He's going to fall for it. The money's going to be too big. By the time this fight happens, he'll have fought one time in 2 years. Mm-hmm. Bad fucking idea. One of the things that's funny to me is that Ngannou is treated inside MMA circles like he's just a gigantic dude that throws big hands. Mm-hmm. No, he's not. He's one of the greatest coaches in all of MMA that has taught him how to fight. And if Jon Jones thinks he's going to get in there and swing with him, he will die. Ngannou will break him. This will be Cobra Kai all over again. This is Rocky. This is Rocky on pay-per-view. If he dies, he dies.
Instead of sweep the leg, though, it's break the jaw.
The fight here, the fight that should be happening here is no doubt. It's Ngannou and Derek Lewis. That's who should fight. It's not what's going to happen. It should tell you everything you need to know that Dana White, who is without a doubt the most honest and open commissioner, president, whatever of any sport. Mm-hmm. When he was asked, what would you be thinking if you were Jon Jones? His answer was, I think I'd be going down to 185. That tells you everything you need to know. And I understand Jon Jones and Dana White don't get along and there's been contention. I get it. He was trying to tell him, this dude will end you. Don't do it. I'll let you do it because it'll make me a buku of money. He will make 17 shitloads of money on that fight. And I'm here for it. I'll watch it. It's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. It is a bad, bad, bad idea.
Francis Ngannou takes home the heavyweight title after just demolishing Stipe Miocic. It's a fantastic story. And, on the fight, what's his name? Fear Factor guy?
Joe Rogan.
Thank you. Joe Rogan was talking on the broadcast about his story and about how, he had to evade his home country to try to make it to Europe and all. And he tried, 12 times over 12 months or something like that. Kept getting caught, kept getting sent back. And now that he knows how to fight, now that he's been around for a while and is no longer just a haymaker guy, he might be the most dangerous man on the planet.
Well, and here's the thing: a lot of people are going to get wrapped up in that he beat Stipe. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that I have yet to hear anybody say. I'm sure somebody smarter than me has. The trilogy with Daniel Cormier took it out of Stipe. There's no doubt. You don't come out of shit like that the same way. Look at Cain Velasquez. Mm-hmm. The Junior Dos Santos trilogy sapped him. He was one of the best heavyweights of all time, and then he was nothing. You know why? Because you don't come out of those the same way you go into them. And Daniel Cormier is a super technical fighter. It just sapped Miocic. He's done. And he looked like he wanted to be done.
Yeah.
They put that belt on Ngannou, and Stipe looked like, thank God. Now I can go back to Cleveland and live the rest of my damn life.
Is he from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you guys will never be friends. Is that what you're saying?
He's actually one of the few parts of Cleveland that I really like.
I don't know. The build up to that fight didn't have the fire. I think Dana White really wants. He would really love to have a showman as the champion, and he hasn't had that.
No, Stipe was just really good. Mm-hmm. He was just very good at everything.
Well, I mean, he showed up to the press conference before the fight looking like a soccer dad who just got off. He always got off of practice.
He always has. See, this is what's funny to me about people that swoop into UFC and then swoop back out. That's what Stipe Miocic is. Mm-hmm. There are people, I just found out about the Mandela effect. There are people that to this day think Stipe Miocic is like 6'10".
No.
Because they think he's Stephen Struve. They came up at the same time, and then one went and the other went. If I had $1 for every tweet I saw on Saturday night that said, Stipe looks shorter than I thought he was. No, he's the same height he's always been.
Right.
You're confusing him with someone else with a similar name. That's the only thing I can figure.
Right.
Stephen Struve was like 6'11". Couldn't play dead in a Western, but he was very tall. Mm-hmm. By the way, that's why I don't put a lot of stock into the length thing. It matters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is I think Francis Ngannou's head is the same density as a cinder block. I think you could hit him in the face with a baseball bat, and I don't think he would go down. Mm-hmm. And now he's figured that out. That's what changed about him. When Ngannou was younger, the problem he had is that he would throw haymakers, and when they didn't land, he would wear himself out. Now he knows he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
He's figured out, I can take your best shot, but I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to give you mine too. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can take mine.
I don't think there are many humans in this world that can do that.
No.
Yeah.
I really don't. And watching Stipe Miocic just crumble under the power of Francis Ngannou made me go, holy shit. This could be, what, 3-year title reign? I mean,
it depends. I mean,
it doesn't look like to me that there's anybody that is in his class right now.
Well, here's the thing. I am not cocky enough to say that I definitively know Jon Jones would lose this fight. Jon Jones is an elite, all-time level of fighter.
Yes.
However, I'm stuck on the fact you will have fought one time in 2 years. And that was against Dominic Reyes. And did you see Dominic Reyes when he fought the next fight against Jan Blachowicz? Mm-hmm. Didn't go well. And I'm afraid that fight took the same amount out of Jon Jones that it did out of Dominic Reyes. I just don't you can't take layoffs like this. I understand he's 33 years old. I get that. Mm-hmm. Still in the prime of his career. You can't take layoffs like this. You can't. Father Time is undefeated. I can give you 10 examples of this. Mm-hmm. George St. Pierre, the reason he won't come back to fight now, because he knows. He knows that all I can do is hurt my legacy, not help it. Mm-hmm. And I look at a guy like Ngannou who's going, because now you become the legend killer. You end Stipe Miocic, and then you end Jon Jones. And now you're the legend killer, and now you can call your shot for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's how I see that. You can disagree with me all you want to. And you might be right. That is firmly how I look at this.
But
I would kill to watch him fight Derek Lewis.
But is there anybody out there that can stop him? Francis Ngannou. Or Ngannou, excuse me.
So can anybody stop?
Can anybody stop him? Do you think Derek Lewis can stop him?
Him and Derek Lewis would be. Let's see how to put it. When Captain Marvel and Thanos met and just that whole shit went ka-doom, that would be the whole fight. I mean, those are two.
Lewis, though, right?
Those are two dudes.
He's already beaten Lewis, though, right?
I feel like you're right, but I'm blanking.
I think he did. I'm pretty sure about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Ngannou's not the same fighter today that he was 2 years ago.
No, he's more dangerous now. That's kind of my
But
point.
so is Derek Lewis.
Okay.
Derek Lewis has become a dog. Yeah. No. He lost to Derek Lewis.
Oh, he lost to Derek
I was sitting here
Lewis.
thinking, this doesn't sound right to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was his last loss, was to Derek Lewis.
Okay.
I knew in my head, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Why does this not sound right?
I mean, you know better than I do.
Yeah, he lost to Stipe, and then he lost to Derek Lewis. Mm-hmm. And then he went on this fun, fights aren't going to last real long with me.
Yeah. None of the fights lasted real long at UFC 260. It was
can I tell you
the longest one was the women's match.
Can I tell you a fun story about Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
He's fought 5 times since the end of 2018. Would you like to hear how long his fights have been?
Yeah.
He went to 52 seconds of the second round with Stipe Miocic. 4 times before that. 45 seconds, 26 seconds, a minute 11, 20 seconds. Combined, he didn't fight 3 minutes in 2 years.
Yeah.
That should tell you, and I mean, I'm not talking, he didn't knock out, I mean, we're talking Junior Dos Santos, Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Rosenstruik, Stipe Miocic. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
At the end of the fight, when they flashed up the most knockouts among heavyweights in UFC history, he was like, what, 3rd on that list, I believe? And every dude on there he had knocked out within the last 2 years. Because Cain and Junior Dos Santos, they were all on that list.
Well, and they were all on the backside. See, that's what Ngannou gets dinged for now. Is, you've ended all these guys that are on the backside of their career. You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong in that. All right, who's he going to fight? Really look around the heavyweight division and go, who was taking this fight? Daniel Cormier? Not a shot in hell.
No.
Not a shot in hell would he have gotten in the ring with him. He didn't have to. This is a big, scary human being. But so is Derek Lewis. God, I want to see that fight so bad. Please, just do it. Do it.
Were you impressed with Vicente Luque?
I'm going to be really honest with you. The only fight of this I watched was Stipe.
Oh, that was the only one you watched? Oh,
I was out.
Yeah, you were out having fun.
We know. I was doing stuff. Bars were open. You know, they weren't showing the fight. I recorded it. Watched it. Watched all 6 minutes of it. But no, I didn't watch anything else.
The Vicente Luque fight was pretty awesome. I mean, you could tell within seconds Tyron Woodley was not there.
I was a bad little sportscaster this weekend.
That's all right. You have to take some time off every now and then. You have to check out every now and then. And old Sean O'Malley, he did some stuff. The little spin kick that he keeps doing, somebody's gonna catch him on the chin when he tries to do that. You don't like Sean O'Malley?
He's fine.
He's fine.
We got a lot of shit to talk about. Sean O'Malley ain't one of them for me.
Oh well, okay. I'm just trying to put a bow on the whole thing.
Yeah, Francis Ngannou's a bad motherfucker, and
lots of quick fights. Lots of quick fights at UFC 260. Obviously, Friday things went really interesting.
That's what I want to talk
when
about.
The NFL shakeup happened in the NFL draft, the first round of the NFL draft, and the Miami Dolphins made some waves. And the San Francisco 49ers, they saw an opportunity to go up and get the 3rd pick in the draft, and hats off to them. My question is why? Obviously, they're going to be targeting the quarterback. The things that I've been hearing over the weekend, though, is it's not the quarterback that any of us thought. I wouldn't think that they would go up to 3 to get Mac Jones. maybe I'm just underselling Mac Jones too much.
Mac Jones fits in that offense really well. Kyle Shanahan preaches multiple things. One of them is accuracy, and one of them is the ability to throw with your upper body.
Yep.
Mechanics. You know what that tells me he's not trading up to do? Take Justin Fields. I can't tell you if it's Trey Lance or it's Mac Jones. I can tell you definitively it's not Justin Fields.
Yeah, they're skipping his pro day.
They're skipping his pro day.
Yeah.
The pro day is today. I think it is. And they're not going.
Yeah, of course they're not. The last quarterback in this draft, of the 5, Justin Fields is 5. And guess who tried to tell you that a long fucking time ago? Hi. Keep telling me I'm wrong. I'm watching the same tape the scouts are. I showed it to him. It took me, 45 seconds?
Pretty much.
For you to go,
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Oh, that's that thing you've been trying to tell me. It's not that you hate, you hate Ohio State. You don't respect Justin Fields. No, the tape's bad. It's bad, but bad. I have, in my life, I haven't been as confident that a quarterback is a bust one time. And you and I were partners for it. And I bet you can tell me who it was. In the last 3 years, who's the quarterback I flat out told you that's a fucking bust if I've ever seen one?
Lamar Jackson.
No. I didn't think Lamar Jackson was a quarterback. That's not what I'm talking about. Same draft class, though.
Okay.
Josh Rosen.
Oh, Josh Rosen, yeah.
I screamed that from the mountaintops and tried to tell anybody that would listen. It tells you a lot the way that teammates react to a guy. And Josh Rosen was a pariah at UCLA. I don't have those same fears with Justin Fields. His mechanics are god-awful. I've never seen a quarterback this mechanically bad that wound up being good. Mac Jones, the exact opposite. He's mechanically very solid. He's about as athletic as a wet fart, though. So that's, there is something that goes to that. Kyle Shanahan does not really seem to care, though. And I heard, I want to say it was with Jay Williams this morning. Dan Orlovsky was talking about the best quarterbacks that have ever played for Kyle Shanahan. You know they are? Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. You know what Mac Jones has in common with the two of them?
What's that?
He ran faster than both of them. His 4.8, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
That's faster than Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm in awe that we have gotten to a point where Mac Jones is going to be the third pick in this draft.
I am as well.
If you had told me going into this year that the top 3 were going to be quarterbacks, I don't know. I think if I had guessed 20 times, I don't think I would have been able to get these 3.
It's a good point. Your guess would have been Trevor, Justin, and who?
Trey Lance, probably.
Trey Lance.
Just solely because there was so much buzz about him a year ago. Zach Wilson, we didn't even know he was going to be the starter at BYU. Mac Jones, we didn't know he was going to be the starter at Alabama.
Right.
And you know what? I don't hate it. I'm very weird with quarterbacks.
Okay.
And I would say if you go back and listen to me over the last 10 years, my accuracy with quarterbacks is pretty fucking high. You know why? Because I don't care where you went to school. I don't live by those Bill Parcells rules because I think they went out of date a long damn time ago. The guys I missed on Deshaun Watson. I will admit that. Now, at the rate he's going, maybe I didn't miss that much. Yeah. But, my number 1 quarterback in that class, Pat Mahomes. It's recorded. You can go back and listen to it. You can read it. There are many places that you can find this. Pat Mahomes was my 1. It wasn't close. Now, I said I wouldn't take him in the top 10.
Right.
So I wasn't completely right. But I had him ahead of Trubisky. I had him ahead of Deshaun Watson. Josh Allen, I had him and Sam Darnold neck and neck the year that they came out. I didn't see Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, and I still don't.
Right. And it's tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow is the pro days for Alabama and Ohio State, and everybody from San Francisco is going to be at Alabama's pro day. Yeah. Nobody's going to Ohio State.
There you go. And that tells you everything you need to know. This is Mac Jones or Trey Lance.
Yep.
And I think Mac Jones will go 3. Now that there's been a deal, the question now is, what do the Jets do? You have the most valuable asset in the NFL. Because have you noticed that every team that's come out, you know what they all have in common? Who did they want?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So now it's a question of which do you want more, the bounty or the player? Mm-hmm. And Brian told me this morning, he said, it would suck to be the Jets GM right now. Does it, though? Does it, though?
Why?
Because you really can't miss here. I mean, if you take the quarterback, everybody in the league's basically come out and said that's who we wanted. Mm-hmm. So you get a mully if you're wrong. He looked phenomenal at his pro day. And worst case scenario, you just look at the league and say, come get it.
Well, you're obviously in a tough position because if you make the wrong call here, it's going to look bad. If you trade the pick and Zach Wilson becomes the next Joe Montana,
and
which people were saying after the pro day, that could be a problem. But if you get a whole bunch of picks, you're going to have to bank on the fact that Mike LaFleur and Rob Salah say they can make something out of Sam Darnold. And here's the thing: if they can't, it's going to be yet another bump in the New York Jets road. Mm-hmm. I understand the position.
I think they have to take Zach Wilson at this point.
I believe
Trevor goes 1, Zach Wilson goes 2, Mac Jones goes 3. I have Trey Lance at 4. I could be convinced that's not a quarterback.
At 4?
Mm-hmm. I could be convinced Atlanta doesn't take a quarterback.
But if they don't take a quarterback, who do they take?
Penny Sewell.
Penny.
Or Kyle Pitts. Might take the best player on the board.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody's going to go, we can't let Kyle Pitts get past us.
Mm-hmm.
He's a generational talent. And I'm going to be honest with you, I said this live, and basically every bit of intel I've gotten since has confirmed this. Mm-hmm. Miami traded back up at 6. It was not to get a receiver. It was to get Penny Sewell. Because they feel like they can either get Penny Sewell or Kyle Pitts at 6. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Jamar Chase is most likely going to go 5 to the Bengals.
And that's basically
because Joe Burrow wants Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think they should do that, and I think if they don't, he could fall. Now, there's one player that's no doubt falling, and I don't think there's any way around it. It's Devonte Smith. Yeah. Devonte Smith's going to fall further than you think he will. Because I don't see a soft place for him to land. Mm-hmm. I could see Jalen Waddle going over him. I could see Jamar Chase going over him.
That seems like a bit of a stretch.
Not really.
What's a stretch?
That Jamar Chase goes ahead of Devonte Smith?
Jamar Chase has been ahead of Devonte Smith the whole time.
Really?
You've said that multiple times. I'm the one that said he was going to fall because he opted out, and he still could.
No, I believe so, but I thought the community believed otherwise.
It's not universal.
Okay.
The one universal thing is Jalen Waddle's better than you think he is. That's the one thing we all agree on. Mm-hmm. Every person I've talked to that does what I do, we all agree. Jalen Waddle's the guy that's going to go higher than you think he will. Mm-hmm. I'm to a point now of I could see Jalen Waddle going over Devonte Smith. Because what's going to happen is you're going to watch tape and you're going to see how this kid doesn't – he gets hit across the middle and he's $170. And teams are going to get freaked out about that. There's just no doubt. Mm-hmm. There's been one receiver in NFL history that was smaller than him that's ever gone in the first round, and his name is Marquise Brown. And I think he's 4'9".
So how far do you think Devonte Smith falls?
Are you wanting me to tell you a floor or where I think he would go?
Where you think he goes?
All right, let's be really honest about this. If he gets past Miami mm-hmm. and he gets past Detroit, where now? Carolina's not. Denver's not. Mm-hmm. Dallas isn't. Mm-hmm. Giants probably aren't. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia? I'd say Philadelphia's probably the floor. That would be my thought, is that's probably the floor. Mm-hmm. And you pair Devonte Smith with Jalen Hurts. Sorry, couldn't say that while laughing.
Well, he's not for Jalen Hurts. He's for the next quarterback. He's a toy for the next guy to use.
Well, they play together, so it's not like...
Well, they have played together. But there's still not a lot of people, I believe, that will look at that and go, yeah, Jalen Hurts, Devonte Smith, this is going to be a great field stretcher in the NFL.
Oh, God, you're so wrong.
Really?
Oh, God. Philadelphia Eagle fans will be insufferable.
Oh, God.
Oh, they will be. They'll be insufferable. Oh, we got our quarterback, now he's got a number one weapon. Wrong. And guess what? You know what Philadelphia did? They gave themselves a ripcord a year from now. That extra one they got, nobody can figure out, and I even heard this morning too. Nobody in Philadelphia can figure out what Howie Roseman's doing. I told you what he was doing Friday. Not an hour after this trade was made, I literally sat right here on that camera right there and told you exactly what he's doing. He gave himself an out. Because now, the Eagles are one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, and I don't think anybody with a brain can disagree with that.
Agree.
Now, no matter what quarterback they're on, they're going to have a pick in the top 5, and they're going to have an extra pick that will help them get wherever they want to. Because they're going to pull the ripcord on Jalen Hurts after a year, because they've seen it. And if you don't believe me, ask me when was the last time you saw a rookie quarterback like this that had this little help? I understand they're up against
Sam
the cap.
Darnold.
And Philadelphia's worse than the Jets are. The line is worse. They have one offensive lineman that's a plus, and that's Lane Johnson.
Right.
And Jason Kelsey. That's it. Name me the starting receivers of the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Jalen Reagor and
Travis Fulgham.
Is he still with the team? I thought he was a free agent.
I think he is, but Greg Ward.
Right.
Dallas Goedert. Yeah, that's formidable. That's tremendous. My God, that's a receiving core. What quarterback could go wrong with that?
He's got Miles Sanders, too.
Who can't stay healthy.
No, I think every Philadelphia Eagles fan should, get outside their own minds and realize you're not a contender for anything except for the first pick in the draft next year.
And that's what they're doing. They're giving themselves an out. Why did Philadelphia do this? Why would they pass on a receiver? Because why do they care? Why would you waste a year on the rookie scale? They're going to take a guy at 12, probably going to take Devonte Smith at 12. They're probably going to take whatever receiver falls there at 12, whether it's Waddle, Devonte Smith. I don't think Jamar Chase could get there, but he might. No. Kyle Pitts certainly won't. Why would you waste the money? You know you've got a quarterback can't get in the ball.
True.
So what the hell does it matter? You kick the can down the road, end up with an extra first-round pick, knowing full well that you've wiped the decks on the cap ledger for next year. And now you can rebuild this team. It's Houston Texans North. That's what Philadelphia is right now.
That's bad news. Bad news for Philadelphia Eagles fans, but as a San Francisco 49er fan, you've got to be real happy right now about where you sit, being third in the draft.
Yeah. You better be right.
Well,
you give up that much, you better be right. Here's another.
At least you're taking your shot.
Can you name the quarterbacks that teams have traded up for in the last 8 years in the top 3?
No.
It is a minefield of disasters. Mitch Trubisky, Sam Darnold, RG3, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. It's a wasteland. You know why? There's a very simple reason for this.
Why's that?
Because when teams really believe in quarterbacks, there's not a price high enough that you can give them for them to come off of it. If a team called the Jacksonville Jaguars right now and said, we'll give you our next 10 ones, you know what they'd say?
Fuck you.
Fuck off. I'm not going to be the GM that traded the next John Elway. I'm not doing it.
I think that's kind of where Joe Douglas
Jets
is
are.
right now.
That's exactly right.
I think that's where Joe Douglas is right now. Yeah. Because honestly, what I think happened with that whole thing was that because we've all come to the conclusion that San Francisco offered this to the Jets.
It got nowhere.
And it got nowhere.
Joe Douglas told him to piss down the road.
Did he immediately
tell him that?
And I got news for you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got news for you. Here's something that a lot of people haven't thought about. Where'd Rob Salah come from?
San Francisco.
There you go. These are two of the most connected coaching staffs in the NFL.
Yep.
I would wager this probably happened over a beer. Hey, Rob, how's New York working for you? We're looking at making a trade. Nope.
No.
Barking up the wrong tree there, Puddin' Pants.
I thought the timing of it was a little strange. It was like 45 seconds after the BYU Pro Day happened on Friday.
That's not strange.
All of this went down.
That's not ironic, because here's what could have happened. Because I genuinely think Rob Salah wanted to make this work with Sam Darnold. I think he believes in the talent of Darnold, as do I. They watched the Pro Day, and everybody in the NFL watched it and went, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You have to take this kid. You have a choice. You have no choice. And so they called Miami and they said, you know what? you know what? We love Zach Wilson. We love Mac Jones. We know one of the two of them will be there at 3. We don't think they're stupid enough to not take Zach Wilson, but we're fine. And that's what I said in live time. Mm-hmm. As soon as it happened, I said there's 2 guys they feel good about. Not saying they feel equally good. They would rather it be Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
But they're completely content giving up 3 ones to get Mac Jones. And that's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. How I imagine this thing playing out on Friday was they saw they had the offer out there on the table. They saw the pro day, and either they got the confirmation just looking at it, or somebody made a phone call and said, no, we're not taking that deal. We're staying at 2.
Yeah.
And then they had to pull the trigger with Miami.
And now the question is, what do you do with Sam Darnold? Thank you, Copernicus. I got that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, do you trade him now, or do you wait?
What are you waiting for?
Somebody to get hurt. A team to be desperate.
So you could see a path where
Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson go into training camp, both members of the New York Jets.
Okay.
Do I think it's an ideal scenario? No. But you know what I know definitively? Joe Douglas is not going to give Sam Darnold away. Mm-hmm. He's not. Because you know that thing you just said about, we could end up trading Zach Wilson and he becomes Joe Montana.
Yeah.
You got the same risk with Sam Darnold. Yeah. You got the same risk with Sam Darnold. That you could trade him and he becomes an elite quarterback somewhere else.
Do you though?
100%.
Okay.
If Sam Darnold was in this draft, he'd be the 2nd pick, and it wouldn't even be a debate. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't even be discussed.
I can't see them getting past the draft with him.
I'm not necessarily saying I think it happens.
Because I think legitimately Carolina or Denver, one of those 2 teams will offer up their picks to get Sam Darnold. I firmly believe that.
I've already said this. Daniel Jeremiah just came out with a fun little tweet.
Okay.
Watch Denver make a run at Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm. I think Chicago will be
and guess what?
As well.
The next person I hear say, a team should give up a 3 or a 4 for Sam Darnold. Okay, call with that. See how far that goes. Yeah. You know what it takes to get Sam Darnold? 9.
Yeah.
And if you do it quickly enough, we might give you 34. We might. Not completely convinced of that.
All the way in. If I'm either of those teams, if I'm Carolina or I'm Denver and I can get a pick back, especially a high second round pick back, to me, that's a no-brainer. If you've got the ability to get Sam Darnold on your team and you can still wind up picking twice in the top of the 2nd round, fuck yeah. I'm all the way in on that one. Is that enough, though? Because now you're looking at the draft is shaking out, and you see where the quarterbacks are going to come from. So I'm going to squeeze all the blood from that stone that I can. If I'm Joe Douglas and I'm on the phone with Scott Fitterer or George Payton, I'm going to get everything I possibly can.
What else are you going to do? That's the Joe Douglas role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've called on every quarterback in the NFL. These 2 teams have that in common. They've called on every quarterback.
Yes.
You've made it very abundantly clear you don't believe in your current guy. What are you going to do? 4 quarterbacks are going in the top 4, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I can tell you definitively they're not going to fall? To 9.
Mm-hmm.
You think George Payton wants to start his reign in Denver by taking his 5th favorite quarterback? I think he already did. I think Denver already did that once, and his name's Drew Lock.
Yeah, the Paxton Lynch. They did that twice.
Not gonna happen.
Tim Tebow, they did it 3 times.
Not gonna happen. There's one way you can guarantee yourself a young, high upside quarterback, and it's by trading for Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
And this I won't be shocked if this trade breaks in the next week. And I know I've been saying that. There's been a lot of up and down with the Jets. And now it's come to a point, and I got news for you. He can verify this. I'm pretty damn connected to the Jets.
Yes.
I know a lot of people that know a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now the consensus, for the first time since this season ended, there's a consensus coming out of Florham Park. Zach Wilson's the pick at 2. And they're going to auction Sam Darnold off to the highest bidder.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to just give him away. If you want him, you better come with a good offer because there are other teams. And I'll tell you, there's another team, and I'm telling you, just remember I said this, Seattle Seahawks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awkward.
Have you noticed that the Russell Wilson thing, those rumblings are still happening?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because somebody, somewhere, wants you to know that. Mm-hmm. You think it's the Chicago Bears? Because I don't. I think it's either Russell Wilson's agent or it's the Seahawks. They want it out there. Seattle made a lot of win now moves.
No.
Did you notice over the weekend they just cut Jaron Reed?
Yep.
Weird, isn't it? Weird that they just would let go of a 28-year-old starter at 3 technique.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have that great of a pass rush anyway. He was one of your best pass rushers, even though he's on the interior. It's weird how that happened. Weird how nobody talked about it either.
And now that bastard ends up going to the Chiefs.
Which is weird to me because I don't understand the fit. Him and Chris Jones play the same position.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all.
You got a chance to win a title. And that just, I mean, that gives them more ammo on the defensive line. I don't know. Maybe they need to spell. What would you bring in Jaron Reed for that?
Not at $7 million. They think they can play them together. They think they can play them together. Mm-hmm. Look at what Seattle has done free agent-wise. They've signed one guy for more than 2 years. What does that tell you?
That it's coming to an end.
Yeah. There it is. Mm-hmm. They're looking around, and the writing's on the wall. Mm-hmm. San Francisco has gone to get their high-end quarterback that they believe in. Whether you do or not, it doesn't fucking matter. They have found a guy that they think in their system is their dude. So now you look at Arizona and you look at the Rams. I've been saying, I feel like I said this before anybody else did. The Seahawks look around, and it's like Will Smith in that episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You look around, and nobody's here. Right. There's no furniture. All your shit is gone. And that's what Seattle's doing right now. I was a year ahead on this. Mm-hmm. The Jamal Adams thing was a disaster. If you could go back in time, if Seattle as a brain trust could go back in time and not do the Jamal Adams deal, they would not do it 10 times out of 10. And it's not debatable. I said it as soon as they did it. You're going to regret doing this. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to have Maseratis. It's another when you have Maseratis and you're living in a trailer park, which is what the Seattle Seahawks are doing. And it's what they've been doing. Right. You keep buying really nice cars and sticking them out in front of a double wide. Because that's what their offensive line and their defense has been for an extended period of time. And now you've alienated your biggest asset.
But what do you do?
I'm telling you, the fact that this keeps coming out, the fact that this has been a story for this long, if teams want this narrative to die, they kill it. Seattle hasn't done that.
Right.
Have you noticed that? Seattle has never come out and said, Russell Wilson's our guy. Right. This is our dude. No, you put out a press release that intentionally omitted him. Why? Because you're trying to prove a point. Now, what that point is, I don't know. I'm not in meetings with the Seattle Seahawks. Here's what I do know. I've been covering this league for a long damn time, and high-end quarterbacks that come up in trade rumors, that shit gets squashed in nothing flat. Mm-hmm. You know when it didn't? Jay Cutler. That didn't get squashed. That was allowed to fester until a team came along and did something stupid.
Right.
And that's exactly what the Chicago Bears did, and that's exactly what the Seattle Seahawks are waiting on right now.
But they already had the offer on the table and said no to it. And now...
Because that wasn't stupid. What Chicago offered was not stupid. You're going to give me a 30-year-old pass rusher and a pretty good defensive line piece and 3 picks in the 20s. Okay, they don't have their own pick. So this is not like they can move around the draft order. You need somebody to do something stupid. You need dumb. Dumb to dumb to dumb to dumb to dumb. You need what San Francisco just got. Or what San Francisco just gave up.
Okay.
A 12. So they got the 12th pick in this draft, which means you're going to get a day one impact starter from that move.
Yes.
2 more picks that, where do they fall? If I told you right now that San Francisco picked in the top 10 of the next 2 drafts, would you be surprised?
Yes.
I wouldn't. With a rookie quarterback that you don't know what he is?
I'd be
Mac Jones comes in and he's Rex Grossman. How good's this team? That's been my comp on Mac Jones the whole time.
Right.
If he comes in and he's that, how bad's this team? There you go.
You're
in a division with two teams that are definitively better than you. The Rams and Cardinals are both definitively better than they are. You're telling me that wasn't in the back of Miami's head?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we trade down 9 spots and we could end up with 3 picks in the top 15 because you may not make the playoffs. Seattle keeps Russell Wilson. It's very debatable who the worst team in that division is.
Mm-hmm.
And worst is it's a literal term.
Right.
They'd be the best team in 4 other divisions. I'm not saying they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is you got to beat teams in your own division. And Miami sees upside. Seattle gets an offer like that, I wouldn't be shocked if they took it. If Carolina came along right now and said, we'll give you 8 in this year's draft, our 1 in 2022, our 1 in 2023, along with a couple of these young defensive pieces. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, we'll do those 3. We'll give you Jeremy Chin, and we'll give you Dante Jackson. It's just names off the top of my head. You think Seattle says no?
No.
I don't. I don't at all. I don't at all.
I just can't see. I can't wrap my head around Seattle being a player for Sam Darnold. Unless they can do something with Russ. And I don't know that they're at that point.
Oh,
where
they're definitively not going to do
Russ.
one without the other.
Right. I don't know if they're at the point where they can do anything with Russ.
Oh, they can 100%. They can do whatever they want to. If Russell Wilson wants out of Seattle, he'll get out of Seattle. Mm-hmm. He has no trade clause. He gave them 4 teams. Well, now none of those teams are options. Mm-hmm. The Saints are killed against the cap. The Cowboys just gave Dak a big-ass deal. The Raiders are killed against the – not killed against the cap, but you gutted the line, and now you got the same problem in Vegas that you did in Seattle.
Right.
And then you got the Bears. The Bears don't have what Seattle wants. Mm-hmm. Do you think if they go to Russell and say, how bad you want out? How bad you want out, Russ? Mm-hmm. You want to go to the NFC South where you got the Falcons that are disgustingly killed against the cap for the next 10 years, the Buccaneers that have kicked this can down the road, and 2 years from now they're going to be an expansion team, mm-hmm. and the Atlanta Falcons who are stuck with 406-year-old Matt Ryan. And you can go to Carolina and throw to Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and whatever other little piece, and Christian McCaffrey, mm-hmm. and what other little pieces they find. Where'd he go to school? Where'd he go to school?
Yeah, he went to NC State.
Yeah, Raleigh.
Yeah.
It's awful close to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Played minor league baseball in the city we're sitting in right
mm-hmm.
now. Makes a lot of sense. And there's somebody that wants you to know this. Couldn't tell you who it is. Could be Russell Wilson's agent for all I know. Could also be the Seattle Seahawks, mm-hmm. who have done absolutely nothing to shut me up about this. None. Me or anybody else. Mm-hmm. This has been the number one topic in sports talk for a month.
I think it's more of a long game thing for them, though.
What's the long game?
Is that the longer this drags out, the longer this takes, the higher the price will be.
That's stupid. That's all right. That's one of the dumber things I've heard you say. How many teams at this point have not locked into a quarterback? It's 3.
Yeah.
We're at 3. So now you have 3 potential bidders. You had 13 a month ago. This is not a long game. They're waiting for somebody to do something stupid. They're waiting for all the chairs to be pulled away and somebody's ass to not be sitting in one.
Right.
Because that's when Carolina shows up and goes, we'll do something stupid. We'll give you 5 ones. And I could easily see it happening because Russell Wilson's worth it. And I will tell you this. I know we're in a Panthers market, and I have killed the Panthers probably more than anybody in this state. Mm-hmm. With Russell Wilson, they're a Super Bowl contender.
Where'd Scott Fitterer come from?
Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
Woo!
Yep.
I've been waiting for you to do that.
Yep.
I gave credence to this Carolina thing knowing because he really loves to throw that Scott Fitterer thing out there.
Yeah. Scott Fitterer came from Seattle. And
I'm just saying there's a dumb domino left to drop, and I feel like it wears a 3 on its back.
Yeah. And Fitterer I think he was the scout that got Russell Wilson.
Very well could be.
I think he was the scout.
I know they're close,
time.
I can tell you that much. Mm-hmm. And just so you know, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. Mm-hmm. This has been said by people that are infinitely smarter than I am. Mm-hmm. We have a lot. We have a lot of shit to do today.
We do.
We do.
We do. We've got a lot of free agent grade videos that are going to be coming out later on today.
NFC East, NFC North.
Yep.
Oh, buttons.
Buttons.
Ooh.
Which one are you looking
No.
for? Nice. We got the free agent grade videos continuing to come out. Remember, any team that you follow, we've got a playlist for your team in the Sportsocracy. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.
Team needs are coming out next week, and now our YouTube channel is sectioned off by team. We'll be doing content on your team every week until draft day.
That's right.
And we're not going to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
This is me caffeinated and well-rested. This is probably the last time you're going to see that until after the draft.
Don't forget to join us this afternoon in the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. If you are not with us here in the Asheville area, we will have, again, the free agent grade videos continuing to roll out over the next few days. This is going to be our new MO, our modus operandi is going to be just pumping out all the draft content that we can until said day. And we've
all
got
of our
3
prospects,
weeks
we'll
left,
have
and
grades on all the prospects. We're going to do team, after we're done with free agent grades, we'll be doing team needs for the draft. No matter who your team is, we will be talking about your team in the coming weeks a lot.
I'm going to be so sick of the NFL draft by the time it gets here that...
That boy ain't right.
Nope.
No. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the ultimate is that we're going to be here live for every pick of the NFL draft.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nerd Fest 2021.
Yep. Get in on it now. Share it with your friends. Tell them where they can find the best team-by-team content on YouTube.
Unless you're a Jaguars fan. And you people just keep telling me to kill myself. It's fine. I'm not gonna, but hey, I laugh. Your misspelled death threats are funny.
All right. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. We'll see you this afternoon.